How can you really learn to speak English confidently? Let me help you speed up the process by telling you in 10 minutes what I learned in 10 years.
Yeah.
Be focused.
Right, number one, to effectively learn English and become confident, you must be focused. In English, we say to put the blinkers on or to have your blinkers on. If you've ever watched horse racing, you see the horses have these things on their eyes, right? So they cannot see. These are blinkers. So to put your blinkers on is to be very focused and only see one thing. Because otherwise you're going to get distracted and you're not going to study, okay? You've got to be really, really focused. You have to make things a priority. Otherwise, something else will come up and you won't do it. Oh, I've got my English class now, but I've got this to do and that to do. I haven't got time. The biggest lesson I learned then was never to say, I don't have time. Because what that really means is I choose not to do this. And I learned to change that. Whenever I said, no, I don't have time for this. No. I choose not to do this. That's the reality. Because you have time. If you don't do your English class, in that hour, you'll do something else, right? You're not going to stop breathing for an hour. You'll do something else. You choose not to do the English study. Always, right? So be clear about being focused, making it a priority, and saying, I choose to do it or I choose not to, but it's your choice. Always.
Be persistent.
Number two, be persistent. What a lovely word. Persistent. Persistent. And it means to continue or to keep going. I often tell my students that learning English is not a sprint. It's not 100 meters. It's a marathon. And you need to keep going, right? Be persistent. The thing is, if you go on social media, a lot of influencers will tell you, you can get fluent in 3 months. You can learn English with these 5 words in 10 minutes. The thing is, right, as people on social media, we've always got one eye on the views and one eye on the education. And there's always a balance. And so a lot of influencers will try and convince you that it's easy, you can do it in 3 months, you can become fluent. It's not true. It takes time. If you go to the Cambridge English website, it'll tell you to move up a band, like a B1 to a B2. It will typically take, 200 hours of guided study and learning. And the higher up you go, the more time it takes. So very often schools and courses will run for 1 year or 9 months to move up a level, taking into account, space repetition and all of that. 9 months for a level, that's more realistic. It does take time, so you must be persistent. And the trick here is if you enjoy your study, you're going to be persistent. You're going to carry on. So do that. Enjoy your study. Find materials you enjoy, that you like, that are engaging, and that's going to help you a lot. Let's move on.
Find your mojo.
Okay, number 3 is find your mojo. Mojo. What I mean really is mojo, motivation, right? Find your motivation, because you need to be motivated to learn another language like English. One way to harness your motivation, to get motivated, is to have specific and realistic goals. And ones that you can measure, I think. Smart goals, right? But specific and realistic. So sometimes, and I look at the comments in my video chat, and sometimes students say, well, I'm a beginner now and I want to be fluent in English. Okay, it's a nice ambition. I'm a beginner now, I want to be fluent in English. It's not very specific. What do you mean by fluent? And when? How long? And it's too big, I think, and it's too far away. It's like the stars. make it more specific and realistic. A much better goal would be, I'm a beginner now, and I want to be able to speak and communicate my ideas on some common topics in the next 6 months. Something like that is much more specific. You could even say which topics. And a teacher will come and say, that's great, we'll take you from A2 to B1 in 6 months. That's basically it. And it's something you can measure, especially if you identify the topics. That's something, it's more specific, it's realistic, and it's measurable as well. So all of that can really, really help. Now, the thing with motivation is you need to feed your motivation. It's like your dog or your cat, if you have one. If you don't feed your pet, they will become lazy and tired, they'll have no energy, and ultimately, I'm afraid they'll die. Like your motivation, it'll disappear. So you must feed your motivation, right? What do you give your motivation? The best thing you can do is remind yourself why you're doing this. Why am I learning English, right? Your goal is the reason why, because I want to study abroad. I want to actually work and live abroad, or take my family abroad and have a better life. That's the why. And so in those difficult moments, when your motivation is down, remember the why.
Big goal, small steps.
Number 4 is big goal, small steps. Now this is related to the motivation, but so having a big goal is great. Breaking it down into small steps is really important. What you're going to do step by step. If you've ever been walking in the mountains, if you like rambling, right? Sometimes you go out rambling, you say, right, we're going to go in a big circle for 10 kilometers. And you go, whew, it's going to take ages. That isn't great. What's much better is to say, well, okay, we'll do a circle, but first we go to that peak. Then we'll go to that lake. Then we'll go down the valley to the village, and then we'll come round. And there are steps, small steps, and you think, oh, yeah, that's doable. Little things you achieve on the way. That's great. So the small steps help you focus on the present moment, on the now. When you've got big goals, you start thinking, oh God, it's so much, it's too much, it's overwhelming. The more you think, the less you are present. You're lost in your thoughts. To avoid that, to be present, small steps, because the small step helps you focus in the present moment. And it works much, much better. Big goal, small steps. Let's move on.
Practice lots.
Number 5, practice lots. You see, the big mistake a lot of students make, and I did as well, although I'm going to blame my teacher at school with French, is we studied too much. We just studied. And by study, I mean reading and reading, learning the rules, learning the grammar, reading, a bit of listening. It was all passive. It was study. We weren't actually practicing. We weren't speaking, writing, very little, right? And that's what happened to French. And so, I got to the age of 18, having studied French for 10 years, and I couldn't speak. That's ridiculous. So it's so important. Practice lots. Wherever you are now, and as you're studying, whether it's with videos, my videos, or with a book, as you study, practice at the same time. You can practice speaking out, practice making phrases, changing phrases. You can use the speaking success system that you can learn from my videos. You can practice in the real world. You can practice online with classmates or students or teachers. Online is the real world as well, right? Or face-to-face. It doesn't matter. But as you're studying, practice as much as you study. And that will help you become a more effective learner and a more confident speaker of English. That's it for today. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. If you've liked it, you know what to do. If you subscribed, you know what to do. And listen, I can't wait to see you in the next video. Keep going. Be focused, persistent, motivated, and all the rest of it. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Yeah.